Today I'm headed to Gilberttown, Alabama, the world headquarters for Smokehouse Bayou Jerky. And I'm going to be meeting with Brian and Shayla Duchon from Smokehouse Bayou Jerky. We're going to be talking turkey about jerky. All right, be there in just a little bit. The big town of Gilberttown. Big town of Gilberttown. All right, Smokehouse Bayou Jerky, world headquarters.
So, like the thing will actually be blue, you know, instead of brown. Yeah.
Oh yeah, some good looking hats.
Yeah.
How are you?
Are you filming now?
Yeah, I'm filming.
Southern born and Southern bred. There's no other place I'd
Welcome to Southernhood, the unapologetically Southern podcast where we talk to interesting people all across the South about everything from hunting and fishing to guiding guns, from grilling and tilling to just chilling. And remember, it's just better down here, y'all. Hey, y'all, Southernhood is brought to you by Sweet Tea, the official beverage of the Southernhood, and by Smokehouse Bayou Jerky, the best doggone jerky in the world, and that is no lie. All right, y'all, welcome to Southernhood podcast, the first episode of the Southernhood podcast. Today, I'm with Brian and Shayla Duchon from Smokehouse Bayou Jerky. Super excited because me and Brian have been talking about this for how long, Brian?
Quite a while.
Quite a while. We've been like, we're going to have a podcast one day.
Yeah, and here we are.
And here we are. The first.
Paul saved his money and got
got everything together when we're having a podcast. Well, hey, y'all, just a little bit, let you know that Brian and Shayla, they have a really cool YouTube channel, Smokehouse Bayou Jerky. Is it Smokehouse Bayou Jerky? Is that the channel?
Smokehouse Bayou. I think it's just Smokehouse Bayou.
Smokehouse
Smoked
Bayou.
meats. That's what it is, I believe.
Oh,
Smokehouse
smoked
Bayou,
meats.
smoked meat.
Smoked meats.
Okay.
Yeah.
It just pops up
Yeah.
on my YouTube channel, so I
Right.
don't really pay
right.
attention.
If they put in Smokehouse Bayou, it'll pop up. I don't think there's anything
Yeah.
else named, anything like that. So.
Yeah. So, first off, you got to go over and check out their YouTube channel because they got a ton of information, videos, funny videos about making jerky, hanging out, cooking, barbecuing.
Right.
I mean, probably more on barbecue than anything.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, there's only so many videos you can do about how to make jerky, this and that and the other, and of course, there's more that we can be making. There's no doubt about that. But we've been very fortunate to have, I think it's like 5 friends that are world champions in barbecue, and so we've done some videos with those guys, Marcio and different ones, and so it's always real entertaining because one thing about the barbecue crowd is they're entertaining people, man. They're funny people.
They have a lot of fun.
Right. You can see some of these pictures behind us, you know, in our restaurant here, and we have had some really fun times with these people. So
Yeah. So, first off, just want to make sure everyone knows to go and check out their YouTube channel.
thank you. Yeah.
But then second off, I just wanted y'all to tell us a little bit about like what you did maybe a little bit before you got with Smokehouse Bayou Jerky, but then how you got going with Smokehouse Bayou Jerky. Because I remember about 5 years ago when you're like, hey, man, I made this jerky.
Come check it out.
And it's like, this is the best jerky in the world. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah. Everybody makes jerky.
That's right.
Jerky.
That's right.
And I was like, all right. And then I was like, man, this is some pretty dang good jerky.
Yeah. Well, before Smokehouse Bayou, I had made deer jerky for probably 5 or 6 years, and my cousin, Catfish is his
Catfish.
name, right? That's his nickname.
He's not country at all.
He is
Nah,
not country at all. But he taught me how to make jerky. Actually introduced me to how to make jerky on a dehydrator.
Yeah.
Right? Like something you would get from Walmart or whatever.
The way I make
round,
jerky.
Yeah. And so I had a medical oxygen equipment company for years, and if you walked in our warehouse, at least the last couple of years that I had it, it wasn't uncommon for me to have jerky going, you know, in the warehouse, and so dehydrating or whatever just from our personal consumption. And anyway, so yeah, Catfish introduced me to that, and I decided one day after we had sold the company that I was going to buy just a little smoker. It was a little Cajun injector, $169 smoker, right? And I was smoking chicken wings and different things, ribs and all that. And one day it just dawned on me, like, why don't I try some jerky, And so I did. And my dad lived with me at the time, and I let him try it. And, I mean, the jerky was 10 times better smoked to me than dehydrated. Right?
Oh, yeah.
And I love dehydrated jerky, the thin, crispy stuff. I mean, the old traditional jerky. I don't have anything against that. I love it. But the smoked jerky just completely came out different. And it was good. The first batch was good, but it wasn't great, you know, because I had just pretty much got up in my cabinet and I knew nothing about really how to season jerky. I mean, I'd been putting it in Worcestershire sauce.
Some of them Dale's garlic.
Yeah, the typical put it in Dale's, put it in Worcestershire, put it in, soy sauce, that kind of thing. No imagination. Well, when I went to smoke it, now to me, soy does not smoke well. Mm-hmm. I don't smoke it well, okay? And so I got in the cabinet and started getting, the salt, the sugar, the brown sugar, the whatever I could find. And so over a period of about 5 months, because it became an obsession, right?
You became obsessed.
Yeah, it was insane. But Dad would wake up. He'd go to bed at midnight, and I'd be in there doing something with the jerky, and he'd wake up at 4:30, and I would be in there doing something. He's just like, man, you're...
Well, now, were you writing it down like this much sugar, this much salt?
Sure
I mean, you were going through a recipe process.
Yeah, initially I wasn't, and then I decided, I'm going to start writing this down, because the thing about it back then was we didn't have any kind of vacuum tumbler or anything like that. So when we would put the jerky in the seasoning or the marinade, it would sit in there for 2 days. So it was the third day before you even knew if what you did in the change, in the seasoning recipe was a good idea or not, right? So, so it was a process, and but about 5 months in, my dad, he was my taste tester, and he tasted a batch, and he said, "Okay, like this is the best that you've done. Do you know how to do it again?" You know? And I remember showing him my notes, all these copious notes I had taken. I said, I can duplicate that. And he said, well, let's see if you can, So the next batch that I did turned out the same. And so we knew we were on to something then. And we've only made one adjustment since then in the recipe, and that was to reduce the amount of cayenne pepper, because I have a propensity to make things really spicy, right? Because of Cajun blood.
I do remember some of the first versions.
Yeah, the first version spicy, was quite a bit spicier, and we kind of discovered that the general public, if you want to sell, you need to go more on the mild side than a spicy side. And you can always make something spicy.
You can have your spicy version,
but you better dial it back. And I think we dialed the cayenne, didn't we, Shayla, back by like 75%,
Right,
So we had to dial that back. I still like that spice. My favorite flavor, is extra spicy pecan.
Yeah.
That's my absolute favorite. It'll light you up, and that's what I like about jerky. But
now, did you start off using pecan? I mean, like, is that the only wood?
No,
or were you
I
using
initially started off using hickory. Right. And then over a period of time, we got into pecan, we got into cherry.
Okay.
And there's just, we could do apple,
woods,
we could do peach, we could do all kind of fruit woods as well. But those three woods are what we use the most of. And so anyway, we did the batch. Finally the batch that Dad said, "Oh yeah, this is the one." And interestingly enough, I did a YouTube video talking about it and just said, does anybody out there want to try some of this jerky or whatever, And Paul, I had like 42,000 views on this video. And I didn't even know what I was supposed to be doing, right? I mean, at that time, I just didn't even know. So I had to call the head of no one in the local health department knew even what to talk to me about. They didn't know. Jerky in some places kind of falls in the cracks, right?
Yeah.
And so anyway, I got up with the head person of the health department for the state, and they basically gave me some guidelines. And so at that point in time, I knew if we did it out of commercial kitchen, we could do it. And so we started in a small barbecue restaurant.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
In Biloxi, or in Ocean Springs,
Yeah.
you know. And we would rent that restaurant on their days off.
Oh, yeah. I remember
You
stopping
remember that?
by. Oh,
Coming in
yeah.
there and
Yeah.
checking it out. And so we'd move all our stuff in, make as much jerky as we could, and move all our stuff out, right?
Right.
And then Shayla, of course, I need to backpedal a little bit. The reason we got to that point was Shayla came up to me and she's like, I think I can sell this stuff,
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I remember Shaylee.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how I got, like, you got to start making more jerky if I'm going to sell it.
Yeah. And so, but then she's the one that said, she had like an administrative type job at a hospital, and she said, I'd rather sell this. Because I don't want to exaggerate. I don't know, Shayla it's been a while, but I mean, $600 or $800 to $1,000 a week she would sell. Yeah. Just people would come up, they knew about it, they found out about it, and she's at work, so she's like, got this stuff under her desk,
Pedaling like a pusher.
Exactly,
She's pushing.
They
Out there
called-
pushing jerky.
They called me the crack lady.
The pushing,
Yeah.
the pusher. You're my pusher, man.
And
Yeah,
so-
they were addicted to it.
Right out of the gate, the reception by so many people was positive about this jerky that we had the idea, okay, maybe we have our hands on something, and then you start down this road, but you don't realize when you go legit,
all the requirements.
all the requirements,
Right.
you
Oh,
got to
yeah.
do all the stuff right. It's a long, drawn-out process to build a brand and produce a product and all that. So it's been a long road. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
it's there's a lot of people out there that can make really good jerky, but then to come up with a name and come up with graphics and a logo and a facility and all the things that go along with it, the recipes, because we have ancillary products, our barbecue sauce, hot sauce, rubs, that kind of stuff.
So since you're going to that, just tell everybody what products you do have.
Well,
Other than jerky.
Yeah, I knew when we started with jerky and we had started developing a following with jerky, and I said, this is going to be something that can be a business. And I caught a little of, what in the world do you need to do that for, from Shayla. She'll tell you. But I said, we need a barbecue sauce. We need a rub. We need a hot sauce. We need some of these other things. And I just had a vision for the fact that if somebody came to my website to buy jerky,
They buy something else.
they might buy something else.
yeah.
And I also realized that we had a talent for developing, these flavors. So
Things that tasted good.
yeah, so why not,
He's
try
done
these
great with
other
all that.
things, and so that's what we did, and that has paid off pretty well. I mean, the fact that we have other products,
Well, we'll just tell everybody about the different products you have. We got them all listed out here on the table if you're watching a video, and then if you're on podcast, well, you can't really see them.
Well, I would say that to me, our other products, I don't know if I have a favorite, but I love our barbecue sauce. And I'll tell you how that came about is in Ocean Springs, there's a very famous barbecue place named The Shed. Okay, and I'm friends with the guys that have that, or people that founded that, and Brad Orson's his name. And he had a guy working with him named Chris. And Chris is a flavor expert. I mean, he's a from what I understand, a formerly trained chef, but he was running this business for Brad called the Sorcery. And the Sorcery is you can show up with your recipe and they can mix your barbecue sauce or mix your rub, package it, label it. It's all FDA approved, right? So I went to Chris and I said, hey, man, I've got an idea of some barbecue sauce. And so I brought that to him, and then he kind of helped. He didn't kind of help. He really helped push it to the next level as far as the flavor and all that. And it was an interesting story, and I want to say this because I've kind of forgotten it until right now. My daughter at the time was probably 10. Lacey's my youngest daughter. And I would take this and let her try the different prototypes of the barbecue sauce. And the one we use is the one she gave me the 2 thumbs up on. And I just said, well, that's the one we're going to do.
Gotcha.
And it's turned out to be pretty popular.
Well, I know I like the Bayou Dust. We use that at the house.
All right.
And then you have this steak Bayou. Well, okay, it's just steak Bayou Dust. Is there no
that's
more
actually-
different versions,
there
or what is
Bayou
it?
There's a
Dust.
Bayou Dust and then the Bayou Steak Dust.
Okay, all right, yeah.
Yeah, the Bayou Dust is something we use now, just to tell our story. I mean, back in 2019, we were invited to cook with Maggie's Farm for the World Food Championships, and we didn't place high enough in burgers with them to go to the next round.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you had to come in the top 10. We came in 12th in the world in hamburgers, right, with
So
Chad. And
So only the 12th best hamburger in the entire world.
only the
12th.
Yeah,
best.
well, I guess there's people. It was an international
Oh, okay, all
competition.
right.
so
Yeah, all right.
But that's neither here nor there. But I mean, we couldn't go to the next round, right?
Gotcha.
And I tell you, I will have to say, a guy from Alabama won the
Yep.
best hamburger in the world,
Yeah.
and he was the only person that ever got a perfect score,
Yeah, he
from what I
did.
understand, on that hamburger. But
Him
it was
and his
amazing.
wife.
Yeah,
Yep.
he was with Bama Q, and I can't remember their team name, but he was a lot of fun, right? And so, yeah, because I remember when he won, I said, "Man, roll tide," and he looked at
He
me
was
like,
looking around
"What?"
like,
And he said,
who out in
War
California?
Eagle.
I don't know.
So he was an Auburn.
He
guy.
was an Auburn fan.
Yeah. So, but anyway, the way it worked out at the World Food Championships is we had an opportunity to cook chicken wings the next day. And I call it a loser's bracket, right? They took all the best teams, made a loser's bracket for it. And I told Chad, I said, "Look, man, I cook chicken wings every day of my life. Like, I know a little bit about that. I think
can
we
do
can
this."
And anyway, we used our Bayou Dust
Okay.
and our marinade right there, and a white Alabama sauce, and ended up coming in second in that competition. So that
second best chicken wings
runner up, I know,
in the
man.
world.
I wish I could have met the
Second.
person that won first, because
Yeah.
The best
I
chicken.
wanted to try it.
Well, that's not too bad to have the second best chicken wings.
We were the first losers.
First
Bob.
losers in the world of the chicken wings.
We're the first losers in the world.
Wait, so real quick, what all? I know you have multiple types of jerky. Just go through them real quick.
All right. Well, our best seller, okay, we sell the number one seller online sells more than 2 and 3 put together, okay? And number one is burn ends.
Burn ends is number one.
It is number one.
It's not the Southern pecan. That's my favorite.
Right. The smoked pecan
The smoked pecan, yeah.
and the hickory are 2 and 3. They're
Okay.
really close together. But if you add those two together, and smoked pecan,
Really?
or burn end sells more than those two together, which
Yeah.
is surprising
We
to
have
me.
several
Well,
customers.
what
that
about-
that's all they get is
Really?
brands,
Is that all
yeah.
they-
Yeah.
Well, and the snack sticks are really dang good. I like them.
Yeah, they are. I keep a bag of those sticks in my truck.
If I could afford it, I would have like a big old bag of them.
Yeah,
like
I
eat 'em,
mean-
like all day long.
Yeah, they're really. I enjoy those a lot. But okay, so we've got burn ends, we've got smoked pecan, we've got extra spicy smoked pecan, we
Yeah.
have hickory, we have ghost pepper hickory.
Oh yeah, I'm not
All
gonna
right,
be eating that.
and we have a chipotle, which is kind of in between. I mean,
Yeah.
it's got a little kick to it, but it's not too bad. But it's got a little kick to it. And Shayla, am I missing one?
That's it.
And what are all the other products other than jerky that you got?
Well, we have our 2 rubs, one being a Bayou Dust, which we would use on chicken wings or all of our smoked pork.
Mm-hmm.
We put Bayou Dust. So
Gotcha.
when we do Boston butts, that is that's our go-to rub for that. And then our steak dust, we use that on chicken breasts,
Mm-hmm.
right? Shayla's got a video on our YouTube channel where she teaches you how to cook chicken breast. And we use our steak dust, obviously, on our steaks that we cook. Now, we don't cook steaks here in the restaurant. but
Right.
anytime we've competed or whatever, we'll use our steak dust. It has no sugar in it. It's
Yeah,
just
it's
a
a good all around
just a
good
dust.
anything season. I love it on steamed broccoli even.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
delicious.
yeah.
yeah. We have
it's really
people all the
good.
time say they put it on their vegetables,
Yeah.
and that
I
kind of thing.
bet if you made popcorn and sprinkled it on it, I bet it'd be dang good.
Well, I tell you, the Bayou Dust is really good on popcorn. That
Or-
sweet
or-
heat.
yeah.
It is really
Or
good.
if you got, you know what? I put it on the other day. It had some pork rinds that were
Uh-huh.
they had no seasoning. I put that stuff on. I was like, man,
Yeah.
Yeah.
some, these
Good
these
stuff.
went from some these pork rinds ain't no good to man, there's some really good pork rinds.
Yeah.
Right. That was the Bayou dust
Yeah.
that you put on? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's good. All right, well, just to let you know, this segment of the show is going to be brought to you by 4-wheel drive pickup trucks. Now, you don't have to have a 4-wheel drive pickup truck, but if you go hunting in the woods, you might want to have a 4-wheel drive pickup truck because a 4-wheel drive pickup truck has gotten me out of a lot of sticky places. So go out there and get you one. All right. We've been brought by Sweet Tea. Also, another sponsor of this show is going to be Grits. Yeah.
Grits.
Yeah, we're
Grits.
grits.
Love
Grits,
grits.
it's what's for breakfast.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah, it's what's for breakfast. I
Love
like
grits.
that.
Another sponsor is going to be, I think it's going to be Redneck Riviera. Head down to the Redneck Riviera, the place to vacation in the South. That's going to be another
You're
sponsor of my
talking
show.
about Biloxi?
No, the golf. Well, in the Redneck
Coast.
Riviera is anywhere from Biloxi to Panama City.
Yeah.
Oh, I got
So that's going to be like another sponsor of the show.
Right.
Grits, 4-wheel drive pickup truck, Sweet Tea, fried chicken.
So anything southern.
Yeah. They're going to be sponsors, just generic,
Right.
Other than Smokehouse Bayou Jerky and Southernhood, the unapologetically Southern brand, which you can go to thesouthernhood.com to check out all the Southernhood hats and shirts and everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. Well, look, we're going to talk turkey about jerky.
About jerky. Okay.
Y'all ready to talk turkey about jerky? We've been
Yeah,
talking
what can
turkey
we-
a little bit, but
Yeah.
hey, can we grab a couple waters? Can you grab some waters for us real quick? Because, after
I have a water here.
you
Shane
have
might
a,
need
he
one.
was more prepared. I wasn't as prepared. All right.
I didn't really finish up on all the items.
Oh, we didn't. Oh, I'm sorry.
Go, Paul.
Do you want me to do that?
Yeah. Real quick, y'all. I'm sorry.
Well, we talked about our steak dust, Bayou dust. We have a hot sauce. All of this is stuff that we formulated in house, right? Then we have our barbecue sauce. That was formulated with the help of Chris
yeah.
and those guys at the shed. And then we have our glazed marinade, which we don't put on the label, but we call it Cajun teriyaki. And, man, it makes a heck of a jerky. And we will be producing that again. We used to produce that when we were in Ocean Springs. And we've had a lot of people clamoring to have us do it again.
So basically, if somebody wanted to make jerky, that's all they'd really need.
I would mix a little curing salt with it, but
Okay.
other than that,
That'd be-
yeah, that's
I
all
got
you need.
Yep.
That is all you need, and it makes
For
I don't know.
dehydrated jerky.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
We don't smoke it. It's just
Okay.
on a dehydrator,
Dehydrated.
and man, it makes a really nice. I don't know. It's just got its own unique flavor,
it's
man. If
very
you can
unique.
think of something that would taste like Cajun teriyaki,
Well,
that's exactly what that is.
I don't
right?
think I've tasted that before. I might have
Yeah.
to get some.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
amazing.
I'm going to get some before we leave here for sure.
Yeah. I mean, it's good on a lot of other things. I mean, if you can
Well, that's
toss
what you put
chicken
on your
wings
chicken
on,
wings, so.
that's right.
Teriyaki.
And then
Yeah, chicken
when we were in
wings.
Ocean Springs, when we were in Ocean Springs, a neighbor came across one night and he said, "Man, you got to try this." And he had some snapper, and he didn't tell me what it was. I mean, just snapper. So I tried. I was like, "Man, that is amazing." He said, "That's your glaze on it." I said, "I had never cooked with fish or cooked it with fish,
Yeah.
that kind of thing." So he kind of opened our eyes
Yeah,
to that.
It was delicious.
It was like a fish dessert.
Mm-hmm.
It was good.
Yeah, I'm going to have to get some because I know we like fish, and
Yeah.
that'd be good on it. What is that all the products you can think of?
Shayla, is that all the
Yep,
products?
I think that's it.
Okay.
Outside our barbecue, but yeah, that's all the products that we sell online.
All right. Well, now we're going to talk turkey about turkey.
Okay.
All right. So, I thought that was funny. I thought about that. Traveling
Talk
up.
turkey
Yeah,
about jerky.
Yeah.
Just get to the heart of the matter.
Uh-huh. All right. So, we're going to start off with a few questions here. If somebody just wanted to make jerky and they were going to go in their own refrigerator or pantry, they didn't have this, your special seasoning or sauces, which I recommend doing. I just recommend just getting some Smokehouse Bayou seasoning. But if they're just going to go in their own pantry and refrigerator, what are some key ingredients that you might have laying around to make jerky?
Well, I think you would have to start with a protein.
Well, yeah. Which
you would
we're
have
going
to have beef or chicken or pork or something.
Which
You know,
I
so
am going to
certainly-
get to that. Like, what all can you make jerky out of? But
Yeah. Okay. So let's say that you've got, and I guess we could just talk cuts of meat. If you're talking beef, the best cut of meat for that would be 5 round is what we use, or like a top round something
Gotcha.
that's lean.
Yeah.
You know.
Liver. Would that work?
If you want to win a Woolheiser award,
The Woolheiser Award.
yeah, you use liver.
Yeah.
Maybe I could.
I have the Woolheiser Liver Award, but no.
You want me to tell them?
No.
The Woolheiser.
It will be an award for other folks. It's going to be
Right.
the Woolheiser Award, but yeah, it's a funny
No.
story. We'll tell it later.
So anyway, eye round or top round, bottom round, anything that's kind of lean makes a good cut for that. Eye round is just so lean. You know, once you take the fat cap off around it, there's very little fat in that, right?
Yeah.
So, and the reason you want lean is obviously, now to me, fat's flavor, right? I mean, I love when there's a little fat in jerky. I love that. That's usually my favorite bite of it, you know. But
Right.
fat will go rancid on you.
Yeah,
wanna make sure
if you made
get
it with
that
a little
lean.
fat, you probably would eat it.
You better eat
quickly,
that.
yeah,
Exactly.
quickly, yeah.
That's all the cold parts when we make jerky that's got fat in it. Yeah, I like those. Those are my favorite. You know,
Put them in the refrigerator and
That's
eat them
right.
in the next few days.
make them last.
Yeah.
So, but if you were looking, like you say, this is how we started. Is I just called it cooking like grandma, right? And so much of this we're just self-taught, but just trial and error. And not being scared to me. And it's so funny. Like I talked to some of my cousins about the way they cook and come up with things, and it's the same way. And I'm sure that people across America do that. They just find what they have and start mixing it together until they find what they want. But when it comes to jerky, salts and sugars.
Salt, sugar, garlic, onion powder. What else?
Well, I would just say, first off, know that salts and sugars are in their own category as far as competing for moisture in the meat because you're trying to get this thing shelf stable.
Right.
Right. Or at least if you're making it home, maybe you don't have the burden of it being shelf stable. But if you're making a real jerky, something that can sit outside of a refrigerator, then typically salts and sugars are the very first go-to because they're going to compete with the moisture in the meat. Right. Now, I mean, I've said this many times on our YouTube channel. I do feel like brown sugar, granulated or garlic, and cayenne pepper make the world go round in the South. I mean, because you've got the sweet heat and the balance of the garlic, which most people in the South love garlic.
So those four seasons, just about you can make your jerky just out of.
Yeah, and our seasoning for, say 70% of our jerky, 60% of our jerky is going to be salt, pepper, sugar, brown sugar, garlic, cayenne, and some curing salt.
Curing salt.
So I got 7. I think that's all 7 ingredients.
Curing salt's about the only thing that some folks might not have in there.
Right. Curing salt is easily found typically at Academy or whatever. And I always, people will say, well, why do you put the curing salt in there, whatever. And we always say that'll keep your jerky from growing a beard.
There you go.
Right. So
some green jerky later.
Yeah, we don't want any of that.
We don't like green jerky. No, green jerky.
So, but there's alternatives. I mean, if somebody didn't want to use curing salt, some celery powder, different things, they can look into that and see. But there's definitely some alternatives. Just producing it as much as we do, curing salt's just a lot easier to deal with.
Right. I got you.
But you can find that like at Academy. I mean, Academy, they have that section where you got smokers and and all that.
I was just thinking if hey, I got some beef in the house, I would think I'm gonna slice it up and grab some spices and seasonings out of the pantry and.
Okay, let's say you're dehydrating it, right? Because most people would have a dehydrator before they would have a smoker.
Right.
I would think, dehydrator's $40, or something like that,
Right.
the entry level. So, man, when I started, it was like get some Worcestershire, throw some brown sugar in there with it, maybe some cayenne, and soak it, and then. So that's some simple stuff.
So now, if you don't have a smoker and maybe you don't have a dehydrator, I had a buddy of mine saying something about putting it in the oven. Have you ever?
Right.
I mean, what are some other ways you can? I mean, smoker, dehydrator, oven.
Yeah, it's surprising that a lot of people use their oven. And basically, they'll put it in the oven and just crack the door.
Yeah, so that's
right, and set it at. I've not used that method.
No.
Now, when we first started, not from start to finish, when we first started, I would finish a batch in the oven.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, because the smoker I had was so cheap, I really couldn't regulate the temp as well as I wanted to.
Okay.
It had hot spots, so I'd stick it in the oven for a little while and finish it off. No, I think it was because the smoker wouldn't go to 260
Yeah,
or
it wouldn't
something.
go high
So I
enough.
wanted to go.
Yeah.
I wanted to finish it off that way, but yeah, a ton of people do it in the oven.
Yeah. All right, on. All right. Now, I know y'all just mainly use beef. And I've made jerky out of deer. That's, around here, deer jerky. But what
Yeah.
are some of the other meats? What's the strangest jerky you've ever had?
The
Out of the
strangest
order.
Okay, there's a friend of ours that owns a place called Beach Jerky
Oh, okay, yeah.
in Gulf
Gulf
Shores.
Shores, yeah.
His name's Michael Stevenson, right? And I love that place. If you ever go to Gulf Shores, check them out because they have. It's just a cool store.
Yeah,
He's
it's
got
really
all
cool.
kind of sauces and rubs all over from the South, man. I mean, but I think he had snapping turtle jerky
Oh.
or something,
Yep. Isn't that crazy?
an exotic jerky like that, and.
You can probably make it out of rattlesnake, alligator.
No, they had
yeah.
shark. I mean,
Oh,
they
yeah.
sell.
Really?
And the thing is, it's like I said, Michael, do people eat this? And he said, well, a lot of times people buy it and it's like a gag gift or something. You know,
They probably don't get like a whole bunch of. They might buy one bag just to taste it.
Can you? I mean, like, there's
Snapping
so
turtle.
many
Yeah,
more
I know,
things
right.
to eat before I get down
The
to
snapping
having
turtle.
to eat snapping
Right.
turtle.
That'd be the
jerky
last one.
that I
Ostrich?
don't know, but
Ostrich, probably. I've heard of
they have it all,
Yeah.
man. They
They
have
have
it all. Gator jerky, just shark. Seems like there was one more, Shayla. What was there? Was one that was like maybe snake or something.
Yeah, they've got a snake one.
Mm-hmm.
The mountain oyster one was the really.
Ooh.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, mountain oysters. Yeah.
Yeah.
If
know
it's
about-
come to that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yuck.
Yeah, I don't know
But,
about all that.
I'd rather do the
Think
liver.
about it.
Yeah. Yeah, we can do it. What's your buddy's name?
The Woolheiser.
The Woolheiser liver jerky.
That's what we need to do. That's
Some-
right. Come out with a
You
jerky.
make some
Call it
shirts
the
some
Woolheiser.
right, the Woolheiser out of liver. Yeah.
That's it.
All right. Well,
Oregon jerky.
let's see here. All right, let's get down. Now everybody, most people eat jerky out of the grocery store, Dollar General, all those different kinds of jerky. But what is the difference between that kind of stuff and what you guys make, which is artisan jerky? All right, we got a visitor, so we're gonna just
We have but this
Wait,
segment brought to you by FedEx.
FedEx delivers to you
That's right.
even when you live in Gilberttown, Alabama.
That's right.
Right.
Because it's not the end of the world.
No,
you
no.
can just see it from here.
Well, you got to go across the Mississippi state line, which is yeah. So, all right, well, good deal. Well, all right. So, what is the difference between just regular old jerky you're getting in the store and artisan jerky like yours? Which I think, for me, the biggest deal is the way you smoke it. I mean, it makes jerky just go from just some dried out piece of meat to something
Yeah.
that's just like, man, this is really good.
Right. Well, artisan jerky would be, it'd be people like us that make small batch.
that are
They'll say
artists.
They'll say small batch jerky. you know?
Artist, is that why? Because you're a meat artist. Artist.
We're like a sandwich artist. Isn't that what?
Yeah,
the
sandwich
Subway-
art- yeah, right.
Jerky artist.
jerky artist.
I think most people would probably agree with this statement. Stuff you buy in the stores, the bar for jerky is really low.
Right.
I mean, there's one mass-produced jerky that I think is a decent jerky. Okay, and that is, I think it's made by
Bridgeford.
Bridgefield or Bridgeford or something like that. But it's Sweet Baby Ray's.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
about the only thing I
That
eat.
jerky's pretty good. You know.
Yeah, that's the only thing I eat out of the store.
Yeah, anything outside of that,
Nah.
I mean, I don't know. So it's like the bar was always really, really low, So
We
when
won't
people
name
would
any
say,
names of any
Brian,
other
this
stuff
is a-
out of the grocery store, but
yeah, when they say this is the best jerky I've ever had, I'm like, well, there's not a lot of good jerky,
right?
So,
You've been eating that one with the Bigfoot running around.
so they had a great marketing campaign,
Yeah, right.
a tremendous distribution plan, but the jerky's not that good,
No.
I mean, no offense, but so artisan jerky, yeah, people that make it in small batches, The difference being, I mean, anything that you get mass produced and you're trying to cut corners and get as cheap as possible, I'm sure is, you know, I don't know much about their process or whatever, but we smoke ours with whole logs. Okay,
Yeah,
so
that's a big difference.
Yeah,
I mean,
additive or nothing like
right.
that.
It'd be like I had chicken or ribs that was cooked in the oven, or I had chicken or ribs that was put on the smoker.
That's a great analogy.
Now,
you know?
which one you gonna want?
Right.
The one that was put in the smoker, or the one that somebody cooked in the oven?
Yeah, that's a great analogy right there. Yeah.
I'm gonna want the ones that just came out of that smoker.
That's
And
right.
when it comes to jerky, you can tell a huge difference between stuff that was put in some big, huge dehydrating system and something that came out of a smoker.
Oh yeah, you know, because
I wish we were making some jerky today. I'd get some film because when that jerky's coming out of that smoker, man,
Nothing like it.
yeah.
Nothing like
yeah,
it.
you know how Krispy Kreme used to have,
Right,
or they'll
right.
turn that donuts hot now or whatever
Right,
sign
yeah.
on. Yeah, we need to have a Smokehouse Bayou.
Yeah, a flashing light out there.
Yep.
I bet if you put a flashing light out there by the street, fresh jerky,
Yeah, probably so.
12 o'clock at night when the jerky's coming out of the smoker, people would be like pulling in.
Crowd would gather up out there.
Cause a traffic jam. in
people
town all
people would
day.
be like, you could post it on Facebook like 12 o'clock tonight. We'll probably be pulling jerky out of the smoker.
Yeah,
And, you,
Come
pe-
try
and,
it.
and
Come
people
get it.
and people would be there at the door.
yeah.
You,
Maybe
and
so.
Shayla would be bagging it up
Right.
and just straight out of the smoker. Like you wouldn't even be able to fulfill your other orders because it'd all be gone.
It'd all be gone.
It'd all be
Yeah.
gone. You'd have
Well,
to
look over there. You can see how much jerky we don't have on the shelf, and
Right.
that's because the online.
It's booming.
You know,
Yeah.
I have people complain sometimes. They're like, I come into your restaurant, and there's no jerky. I'm like, I'm sorry. It's it just all got shipped to Wisconsin.
Well, look, tell everybody where to get it online. Because I always just stop by and got it from you.
Yeah, smokehousebayou.com.
Smokehouse.bayou.com. Okay. Because, Because now, I know folks can order it. Do y'all have like one of these processes where they sign up for the monthly shipping? Like where they.
Well, we don't
No, okay.
currently.
I know
no.
you and I, you had talked about it.
We
Yeah.
discussed
Okay.
that, but
All right.
we do have. I think we try to have a discount code going.
Yeah.
Different times, and I'm not sure what the code is, but when you
Think
pull
there's
up the
one on
website,
there.
it's on there. It'll tell you.
Yeah, there's one on there.
Yeah,
Put this in and
I'm going to, since you're sponsoring the show, we're going to get a discount code Southernhood to get how much? I don't know.
usually about 10%.
10% off.
Yeah.
Smoke.
There's not a huge margin in jerky.
Right.
Yeah.
I remember one time, man, a guy from a television show wanted us to do a video on how to make jerky, and he made the statement. He said, "But don't tell all your secrets." And I said, "Man, there's not much I wouldn't tell about how." He said, "Really?" And I said, "Yeah, because this is too laborious, man. People don't want to make jerky. It's too much.
The reason people buy jerky
Yeah.
They
is
make it
because
the first time, and then they buy it from there."
because they ain't got all day to make jerky.
That's right, you know. So anyway,
It's a lot of work, no doubt.
Yeah. All righty. Well, I think it's been a great first podcast.
I think so, man.
Yep.
We're
We've had
honored
fun.
that you chose us to
Yeah.
do the first
Well,
one.
I knew that y'all could make me look good,
Yeah.
and I needed the practice.
Well, if you sit
For my
beside
body.
me, you're gonna look good.
Well, no, not because you look so bad. It makes me look slightly better. No, I'm not.
Right.
Just the conversation would make it look like I knew what I'm talking about. Like I'm a real podcaster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think you are a
think
real
you're legit,
podcaster. I
yeah.
mean, you have the equipment.
Yeah, I got microphones.
have the look.
Yeah. I don't know if I got. the
You're a
look or not.
podcaster.
Okay. Well, this is our first podcast, so I'm officially the Southern.
official. As soon as you edit this
yeah,
and
and
put it
put
out.
together, it's the official first Southernhood podcast, #1.
Man.
That's awesome.
So yeah, pretty excited about it.
And it was
Appreciate
brought
y'all.
to you by 4-wheel drive
Forward-
trucks
and sweet tea.
and sweet
Sweet
tea.
tea.
And by Smokehouse Bayou Jerky, the best doggone jerky in the world, and that is no lie.
I like the sound of that.
Yeah. And by Southernhood, the unapologetically Southern brand. And you can go to thesouthernhood.com to check out all the shirts and hats. Go to your YouTube channel,
Smokehouse Bayou Smoke Meats.
Smoke Meats YouTube
Yeah.
channel,
Yep.
and go to the Southernhood YouTube channel. If you're not watching, if you're listening to it as a podcast, then go to the Southernhood on YouTube. Check out all the Southernhood videos. And if you're watching on YouTube, then go ahead and do me a favor and hit subscribe. Hit subscribe to his channel. And if you ring that bell like I have, you'll wake up on like Sunday night or whenever you release your videos and be like, oh, there's a new Smokehouse Bayou
He's doing
Jerky.
crawfish this week.
Yeah,
Or whatever.
Yep. Never know what you're gonna be doing.
Right. So, all right. Well, good deal. Well, I think we're out. We talked turkey about jerky.
We did.
Yeah. That's a wrap. And remember, it's just better down here, y'all.
Awesome. Yeah. You had fun. Well, it wasn't too bad, was it? You just sitting at a table talking.